Hello, SNA fans. This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And yeah, this is the 111's 111th episode of the SNA podcast, which I'm going to be talking about the latest edition of NXT. This is the NXT review part 13. And I guess this is the Fallout NXT since NXT Halloween Havoc. And we're going to start this video. Okay, let's see. My bad. Not trying to keep y'all hanging. But we're going to talk about right here is
I didn't want it.
I'm going to show the also showed the recap from last week's edition of Halloween Havoc with Trick Williams basically distracting Carmelo Hayes, got him taking his eye off the ball, which he lost to Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov retained the championship with Baron Corbin attacking Dragunov from backstage, into the gorilla position. But anyways, we're gonna start off the video with Akira Tozawa taking on Noam Dar. Akira Tozawa, the new member of Alpha Academy, against the new member of the Metaphor, which is Noam Dar. And this is where we had Noam Dar try to put him into a legs between Akira Tozawa's waist. This is where Akira Tozawa started grabbing onto his arm. This is where he started grabbing. I mean, not arm, his leg is. I think it was specifically his left leg. He started hitting him with elbow strikes and started holding on, squeezing it with his two legs together, tying them and squeezing it by bending them in the sideways where it shouldn't be at. And then also, he had Akira Tozawa hitting punches and knife-edge chops. I was like, hopefully don't do too much of those, considering he's on the same brand as Gunther, like the likes of Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins did last night at the main event of Monday Night Raw. This is where Akira, not Akira Tozawa, Noam Dar Irish whip Akira Tozawa right into the left side of the ropes. This is where he ducks down, which was probably the most dumbest maneuvers in all of sports entertainment. But because Akira Tozawa went for a sunset flip, and I was like, maybe it wasn't so much of a bad idea at all because maybe that was the plan the whole time all along, to outsmart Akira Tozawa, because he flipped over. He did not buy his antics of doing the sunset flip roll up, but because he started trying to stomp on his chest, but he moved right on top. Akira Tozawa goes for the basic schoolboy surprise roll up. This is where not Akira Tozawa. I keep calling Noam Dar starting to headlock Akira Tozawa. This is where Tozawa Irish whips Noam Dar right into the left side of the rope. He ducks, almost leapfrogs, because Noam Dar outsmarted him once again by hanging on to the ropes before he can do the dodge. This is where he kicks his legs, and he landed face first onto the canvas. This is where Noam Dar started arrogantly doing his pose to the fans, which the fans started. And then this is where the fans is like, boo, he still sucks. He still sucks. He still sucks. I'm like, maybe he does. I was like, but I got to admit, he is very entertaining. As a comedic leader of a comedic heel faction alongside Ora Menza, Lash Legend, and what's her name? Kiara Jackson, I believe. Yeah, Kiara Jackson, yeah. But yeah, amazingly, everybody was over Akira Tozawa because he's one of the most over guys in WWE right now, and at least in the mid card division. This is where he started coming back, started doing Otis's pose like yee. And this is where he tried to go for his, I guess, signature move, like his signature move splash strike onto Noam Dar. But he flips him right over on the left side of the ring apron. This is where he started doing the first step up into the Giri. This is where he was thinking about going for the senton. But Vic Joseph was like, yeah, go up there. Don't think twice. Like, just do it. Like, just do it, damn it. I was like, yeah, agree. And then this is where he started getting distracted by Kiara Jackson and Lash Legend, two of the women's wrestlers into the metaphor, two women's wrestling members of the metaphor. I was like, they kind of remind me of other two African American wrestlers. One still in WWE. She's on SmackDown, while the other one left WWE about a year ago, and now she's somewhere in another promotion. But anyways, we're gonna talk about that later. And Ora Menza looks like a friend of my brother's, but we're gonna probably get to that later on in the future. But anyways, he was getting too distracted by Tozawa wasted a little too much time because he allowed them to distract him. This is where he tried to put him in a headlock, and this is where Akira Tozawa hits him with a back suplex. This is where Akira Tozawa was so close until the time ran out because he waited in the last second when he tried to go for the top. But when he tried to go for the senton, though, it was pointless because he gets suplexed right by what's his name? By Noam Dar, which was saved by the bell, by the way. This is where Chad Gable and Maxine Dupree and Otis came in the ring and checked on Akira Tozawa, while Ora Menza and Kiara Jackson and Lash Legend came in and started arguing with the Alpha Academy, saying yeah, you stay in your lane, we want this a fair fight, aren't you Mother Hubbers are the ones doing the dirtiest tricks into the wrestling book? Anyway, this is where we got the second round of the Heritage Cup match. This is where Noam Dar tried to go for a roundhouse kick to Akira Tozawa. This is where Akira Tozawa grabs him, brings him down, started hitting him with striking right hands to the face until Noam Dar tried to go for a crossface by putting his legs right onto his arm, his left arm, I believe, onto his right arm onto his left leg, I believe, his right arm on his left. This is where Akira Tozawa tried to go for a very twisting and tangling surprise roll-up I have ever seen in professional wrestling / sports entertainment. When he tried to get to 1, 2, 3, but he only got a 2 even count. This is where Akira Tozawa goes for a sliding kick to the face of Noam Dar. This is where Noam Dar rolled him up in the most surprising and shockingly surprise roll-up I've ever seen in WWE. And then he literally got him the 1, 2, 3 on the second round, even though he grabbed a handful of tights. Well, I should say shorts, right? But they're kind of like tights still. So I'll say a handful of tights. And then after he did that, he hits Akira Tozawa with a cheap shot, knocks out Akira Tozawa. This is where the referee was like, well, what are you thinking, Noam Dar? You can't do that. The match is, this round is over, and you have to wait until the third round is official to hit some strikes on him. And then Chad Gable and Otis and all like that, they went straight up to him. This is where Ora Menza had to shield him, saying no touching Noam Dar. Because of course they'll do that because they're the most maniacally sneakiest group in NXT right now. This is where Lash Legend was drizzling some water into his face to cool him off from this very heated match, I suppose, to describe. But this is where they both finally got into the match for round 3. This is where we saw Akira Tozawa. Akira Tozawa throws Noam Dar in the outside, hits him with a suicide dive. He tried to go for a second time, reminded me from back again his 2017 days, when he was in his first run in the main roster. This is where he tried to go for a second time, but I believe Ora Menza saved his life because he took the second fall of the suicide dive. I know what I mean by pinfall, by taking the bump to him. And then and this is where he brought Noam Dar to the ring. This is where Noam Dar was limping because I believe his right leg was messing up. And then this is where he tried to go for a forearm strike to Akira Tozawa. He ducks, he runs right towards him, hits him with a wheelbarrow roll up, which he turned into the ankle lock, which he finally he did it so hard, like to the point he made Noam Dar have no choice but to tap out, which he got the second fall from the round three of this Heritage Cup trophy match, and then everybody, all the fans are like, thank you, doing the Alpha Academy pose, like what Chad Gable does in his catchphrase, saying "shoosh" and a thank you. But this is where Chad Gable and Maxine Dupree was doing the two. This is where Chad Gable is cheering his new ally Akira Tozawa. He's like, "You're almost there. You just need one more win so you can take home the Heritage Cup trophy to the Alpha Academy." But anyway, this is where Chad Gable started doing, "Thank you," doing like if he's doing the yes movement. This is where we got round 4. This is where Akira Tozawa tried to go for a surprise roll-up, but he nearly got him in a surprise roll-up, like for the 1-2 aka 2.99. This is where he tried to go. This is where he tried to go for a suplex. Noam Dar hit the twist underarm kick to the leg, and then this is where he tried to go for a roundhouse kick himself, Akira Tozawa, but he gets a striking back elbow from Noam Dar, looking like if he's trying to do the Judas effect, which it kind of worked. This is where he tried to go for the pin to Akira Tozawa, but only got him a 1 even count. I was like, wow, I expected it to be 2 even, but not a 1 even count. Like, wow, I guess that knockout blow was a dud, I suppose. Like, at least like 99% of a dud. But anyways. This is where Noam Dar tried to go for a maneuver, but I think his leg was too distracting him. This is where Akira Tozawa took advantage, hit a running Hurricane Rana right onto Noam Dar with a legs on the arms roll up onto Noam Dar's legs. This is where Noam Dar tried to hit him with a striking right hand, but instead. Noam Dar ducks, hits a German suplex, and then this is where he go for a pin, like a 1-2 And I was like, wow, Akira Tozawa was getting so close, and I was like, I believe that's a sick finishing move. Even before he joined Alpha Academy, some say he probably got that from Chad Gable, but I remember him using that German suplex for the past 5 or 6 years, ever since he's been on WWE. Like, even when he was teaming with Titus O'Neil as Titus Worldwide with him and Apollo Crews and Dana Brooke on Monday Night Raw. But anyways, this is where he tried to get Noam Dar, but he tricked him and he tripped him over. He got him into an ankle lock position, twisting his arm, trying to take a page out of his own playbook and the Alpha Academy's playbook, of course, and give him a taste of his own medicine on the 3rd round. But luckily for Akira Tozawa, that did not make him tap, even though he had it locked in for a good second, until Akira Tozawa managed to roll out of it and get himself and freed himself and picked up Noam Dar into a wheelbarrow German suplex position, trying to go for a second. Which he successfully did. He must have been double lucky because you know the statistic. If it works double times, like when you execute it both times in a row, you're double lucky. But anyways, this is where Akira Tozawa did not want to just pin him just yet because he wants to properly hit his main finishing move, because he was like, thank you. And this is where he tried to go for the his signature move first, which is the knockout spinning insecurity kick, look like the Trouble in Paradise. This is where he hits Noam Dar. This is where he was going to capitalize with his first main finishing move, which is that flying senton he usually do, which everybody knows about ever since the 205 Live days. This is where Ora Menza tried to go for a distraction, but but Akira Tozawa kicks him right into the face. This is where he was getting ready to do the senton, but this is where Lash Legend came right out of nowhere and drags Noam Dar out of the ring before he can even land the flying senton to him through the canvas. This is where Lash Legend's like, come on, get in there. And she throw him back in the ring. This is when Noam Dar was getting ready to hit his finishing move, which is that running Shining Wizard supernova kick that he usually do, the capitalized the finish of the match, and that's what exactly he did. He did the maneuver. He got the 1, 2, 3, and still the Heritage Cup trophy winner.
He's a young dumb kid. I gotta go to him.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. My nephew's remote control fire truck exclusively at Walmart. Get yours now today, sponsored by this. Hopefully don't copyright me, Walmart, because perhaps you should sponsor me. Then I can start showing these on my SNA podcast. But anyways, yeah, Noam Dar retains, but you got to admit, you got to give credit when it's due for Akira Tozawa. Like, he put on a great fight into this match. But unfortunately, he couldn't put away the Scottish Supernova, but he did brought the fight to him. And it looks like we're going to see some opportunities from this guy. Like we recently saw him facing Shinsuke Nakamura, and even though he lost, he brought him to this limit last night. It looks like, according to this new management, including with Triple H still the head of creative and talent relations, along with McMahon selling the company to Endeavor. Like, it seems like Endeavor wants Triple H to be be the head booker of WWE, because he knows exactly when to do something and on the shows, and what to do on the exact timing. Like, because obviously he used to be a wrestler from the past 20 and a half years. Well, maybe almost 30 years, if not already, because he started his wrestling career back in the early 90s. But that's a story for another day. But what do you thought about this match? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But then also Oro Menza gets into the face of Akira Tozawa, like, you do not kick me right in the face. You do not. I repeat. And then that's where Chad Gable's like, whoa, get your ass off of him. Like, and this where Otis clocks him out with a body tackle, and he runs up right onto the middle of the ring, hits him with a world's strongest splash right onto him, nearly breaking his ribs in the process. And send the crowd or send some happy, heartwarming messages to the crowd by doing that. So the fans won't start a riot, I guess. Even if they didn't get this treat from Otis, they probably wouldn't physically start a riot, unless they start throwing their popcorn, their championship belts, or anything like that. Like, other than that, I would say, or even their drinks, of course. That's the only riot I would say they come up with. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Up next, we got live video for Dijak, where Dijak and Tyler Bate, well, mostly about Dijak, because Mick Foley is choosing who's exactly gonna be into the tournament, or not tournament, into the contenders match, to be into this deadline match, or what's it called? It's the deadline. This deadline match for NXT deadline. Like, first off, tonight it will be. I see Trey. Anyways, what? It did it on its own. Anyways, but Mick Foley announced it will be Tyler Bate taking on Dijak, while it'll be Tiffany Stratton against Fallon Henley, and whoever wins being declared the contenders for the 5-way deadline match, like at the upcoming NXT deadline pay-per-view in December, of course. We're gonna move on to the next match, which is But before we do, we got a backstage segment between Ariana Grace, Lola Vice, Electra Lopez, and Roxanne Perez and Kalani Jordan. And then this is where Lola Vice started bragging that she beat her last week, which that was true. I'm very disappointed that she did, because I bet it was gonna be on Kalani Jordan, because she's just like her man Carmelo. Like I thought she was like the underdog, just like him 2 years ago. So I thought. But I thought she would be the one that's going to take the whole thing, because she was beating everybody, like even a couple of wrestlers before she got into the tournament. But anyways, and then this is where Kalani Jordan humbly congratulated Lola Vice last week. She was like, "But you better split that contract tonight." He's like, because if it hadn't been for Electra Lopez, like, you wouldn't have beaten me. And then this is where Ariana Grace tried to instigate and break the fight up in an instigating manner, I should say. She's like, ladies, we shouldn't be fighting right here, like. And then this is where she got instantly interrupted by Electra Lopez. Like, listen, whatever we want to do in that contract, like, it's gonna be none of your business, like. You can't get mad and jealous that you lost. And it's like, what's there to be jealous of? I'm just saying, like it's the facts. Like, and this is where Lola Vice is like you're just jealous, like you said, like. And then this is where Roxanne Perez, which she knows about breakouts tournaments winning, because she won a year ago. She was like, wow, the NXT breakouts tournament winner, like Lola Vice, congratulations. Like it doesn't mean you're not the sidekick after all. Like, let me explain something to you, Lola. Like, the only way to win that, it doesn't mean you automatically be a champion. Like, if I was you, I wouldn't make enemies on your way to your journey to winning the championship. And then this is where, and I believe she said, like, so this is a challenge in Spanish, but they didn't subtitle it, so I don't know for sure. And this is where she responded back. I guess she accepted her challenge in Spanish, of course, because they did have a tag team match later on. It was Kalani Jordan and Roxanne Perez taking on Lola Vice and Electra Lopez at the end of, not before the end of the night. This is where we got a celebration segment with Lyra Valkyria, because she did one 2 weeks ago at Night One's NXT's Halloween Havoc event. And then this is where she had to say, during her promo of her live celebration segment, she was like, and this is where the fans chanted, "You deserved it," during her promo. She was like, yeah, absolutely, I do deserve this. Like, here's your new NXT Women's Champion. I was like, wow, like, you have a very high-pitched voice, just like Tropicana Bailey, but better, I guess, because I would say, I'm not sure if I should call her Bailey, only with that announcing scream like Bailey would have done, but anyways. But I think she's like 10 times better than Bailey. And she's even champion right now. Something that Bailey wished that she still was, but she hasn't been like in over 3 years. But anyway, this is where a lot of like, and then this is where it's like, there's a wise person that said you should never want to meet your heroes, because they clearly. I clearly learned that the hard way with Becky Lynch, and I have to hand it to Becky Lynch. She is a real true legend. But I didn't beat my hero. Like, I beat her. Like, I defeated her. I beat her. Like, I defeated her, and now the finest was in NXT is around my waist, and that is the NXT Women's Championship. And she was like, yeah, and at Halloween Havoc, like, Becky sure as hell brought up a fight that I soon to remember for the lifetime of my career.
Oh no!
And this made this place feel like magic, like literally. Fans start cheering away, and And then Lyra Valkyria was like, we showed the world that that we main event the women's movement and being it's the women's division is all about. And then she was like, and you all see my story, like, and every bit of it, the whole thing's true. Like, I'm not the only women that dream of this holding this title, like, and I know that locker room is gonna be packed full of hungry competitors in the women's division that want to take this from me. And she was like, and I also know that all their eyes are fixed, like are gonna be eyes. They're gonna be fixed on my, and it's gonna be it's gonna be the last of it's gonna be the final survivor at NXT's Deadline, and in the number one contenders Deadline match. And this is where, before she can continue, this is where Xia Li came out from the audience, going down the stairs. And then this is where security was like now, like you, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, I would recommend you to get out of the arena. Like, I see. But anyways, yeah, push this button. Maybe it's this carpet, side of the carpet is making it like that. Here you go. Anyways, Xia Li came out. This is where Lyra Valkyria let her through and let her get into the ring. Like, if she wants, like, if she wants something from me, like, I would gladly hear it from her. I can't play this right now. I gotta finish this. I'll say after the video. I'll do it after the video. I'll play more as soon as I get done making this review video. But anyways, this is where Xia Li came in, like, in the ring after Lyra Valkyria invited her into the ring, when she saw her heading into the ring anyways. This is where Lyra was like, may I help you, Xia? Like, you seem lost. Like, it's just like, don't tell me. Like, since you couldn't get an opportunity out of Becky, like, you were trying to ask for one with me. Well, she didn't say that, but it looked like her in the eyes. Like, this is where Xia Li was like, you didn't. I bet you didn't see what I bet you didn't see what I did to your hero last night on Raw. I was like, yeah, you just basically simply assaulted her, and I was like, yeah, I know that you're mad at her and all, but still, like, that doesn't mean you have any rights of doing that, like, in kayfabe perspective. But anyways, But yeah, it also cost you earning yourself an opportunity for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match. But, like, none of that matters now because she's kind of ticked off. I think she made her statement and her point about getting some kind of retribution on Becky. But I don't know what kind of retribution, because she didn't really owe her anything, because she dropped the title right on to Lyra Valkyria. Even if she didn't lost the title to her, she don't owe her that. She would just generosity. She would have did it out of generosity. She would generously gave her a title shot. But anyways, this is where Lyra Valkyria was like, and he's like, Becky Lynch. She's like, but Becky Lynch specifically told you that if you wanted a title shot against her, like, you could have just asked. Like, you should have already gotten one. Fans were like, oh, like, she got you there, Xia. And this is where Xia laughed, like, and this is where she went back to seriousness. She was like, now I want to take your women's championship. And then this is where Lyra Valkyria is like, oh, you really gonna take my championship? I would like to see you take it out of my waist. Like, this is where one of the security guards like, all right, like, now Xia, like, calm down, like we don't like he was like if you come with us and just leave the arena, and like there won't be no trouble. And this is where she instantly disobeyed the security guard and instantly hit him with a roundhouse kick out of nowhere, like, boom, clear as day, knocking him out in the process. This is where they start going back and forth. Like, this is where he's like, I'm going to take that title off you and show you that I'm a better NXT Women's Champion. And this is where Lyra Valkyria's like, I would like to see you do that. Like, I was like, if you were the best, if you would have been the best NXT Women's Champion, you would have won it against Raquel Gonzalez when she was against Raquel Gonzalez, which she's now going by Raquel Rodriguez in her days in NXT. This is where we got a hype video with Tyler Bate saying, like, I may be too calm and chill, but don't not mistake like drive and intensity of more like the laser focus. Like, I'm very laser focused when it comes to serious main event title opportunity. He's like, this is more can bite off than he can sink his teeth into for the big guy. It's something that I need. I'm tired of being like, I want to keep being the one that's known as having a really good resume of his past. Like, I want to move on to the future. And he's like, yes, like I gotta admit, Dijak really is massive. He's a dark heavyweight, and then I'm more like a David cruiserweight. And he's like, but this David's gonna slay the Goliath, and he's like, I'm gonna do an airplane spin on my way of the NXT at the NXT deadline on my way to becoming NXT champion. This is where we had Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs helping Fallon Henley to get her ready to face Tiffany Stratton. This is where Brooks Jensen was like, okay, Fallon, are you ready? She was like, hell yeah, I am. Like, you know what? The games are over. Like, I'm getting even. I'm gonna get even to Tiffany Stratton. I'm gonna get that opportunity for the NXT Women's Championship. Should say, like, I'm not sure if that made any sense. Like, get opportunity for the NXT Women's Championship, and by doing that, by going to the deadline event, on my way to the deadline event, defeating Tiffany Stratton. And this is where Josh Briggs was like, "Are you ready now?" Like, and this is where he's like, "Yeah, I'm locked in." And this is where Brooks Jensen was like, "Okay, keep your eyes back in here." And she was like, and then this was trying to give her some warnings about what could be up Tiffany Stratton's sleeves. And this is where Fallon Henley was like, "Yeah, I know, but like Tiffany's time is over. Like, this is my time to shine now." And then this is where Josh Briggs was like, "Yeah, I love to hear that." Which we do have the match, which is Tiffany Stratton taking on Fallon Henley. Like, this was pretty interestingly entertaining. I would say perhaps the second match of the night, like, because I would say the Heritage Cup match. I'll say what earns the number one spot is between Tyler Bate or Tyler Bate versus Dijak, or the Heritage Cup Trophy match between Noam Dar and Akira Tozawa. But anyway, this is where we got some backstage arguments between the team Drew Gulak and Damon Kemp and Charlie Dempsey, the son of William Regal, and their newest member, this young guy, like, that's probably a new signees of WWE, like arguing with Chad Gable and Otis and Akira Tozawa on who's the biggest and the toughest and the technical wrestler. And this is where he started saying, like, this right here, Drew Gulak, he was like, are you thinking this is your group, Chad? Like, yeah, this is my group here. And he's like, well, I lead a roster that's serious competition here. Like, I got Damon Kemp, discipline; Miles Bourne, tenacity; Charlie Dempsey, pedigree; and he's like, and then this is where Charlie Dempsey was like the Heritage Cup Trophy should be way off limits for you guys. And he's like, and he was like, I'm gonna stretch y'all out and then show you no quarters, like. And then this is where Otis like stretch, like you talking about stretch. You want some stretch, Charlie? And this is where he started doing the wiggling dance maneuver. And this is what he started doing is like stretch, and he started doing some kind of a inappropriate reference dance. This is where Drew Gulak and them was like, yo, like that's not necessary. Please put that away, like please. And then like that's disgusting, like. And this is where they start arguing back and forth. This is where Chad Gable's like, shoes. And then everybody got quiet. This is where Chad Gable's like, thank you. Like, two, please. Like, and then this is where Drew Gulak was like, I can't stand that phrase where he shoots like. And this is where Otis was like, how about you and me one-on-one, Gulak? Like, I think you're the most technical and the most toughest. Like, oh yeah, like see you out there. And then this is where Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne was telling Drew Gulak, saying like, we're gonna take care of him. Don't worry about Otis. Like he's just a fat exaggerated. He's just a fat exaggerated punk or whatever they said. Like, this is their words, not mine. Like. I won't say they use the word specifically fat, but they're just said some other words like. And before they can even finish off like discussing like on how Drew Gulak can take down Otis, this is where Chad Gable went up right in front of him saying, "Thank you," which was very hilarious. I would say the number one goofiest wrestling of the night. This is where Drew Gulak got more pissed off. He was like, every single freaking time. This is where he got the referee. He was like, and this is where the referee got out of Shawn Michaels' office, like one of the referees. This is where he gets interviewed by the backstage reporter. He was like, what's the results of what was the meeting about? Well, as the official. And he was like I'm gonna use my I'm gonna use the rules on with discretion on tonight's as an official. Like I should use my my official skills in discretion on tonight's match with Von Wagner and Braun Breaker. He's like, the history between these two competitors. Mr. Michaels insists me on what happened, definitive decision, and so tonight we will have a winner. And thank you very much. So, like, I was like, so if it means like if this is, and I was like, wait, if this means like even if one or the other smash each other in the head with the steel steps sandwiched right onto the bottom part of the steel steps, like with their head on top of the bottom part, with them having the top part and sandwiching their head, they still have to have a prominent winner. Like, is it is it a no DQ or is it I guess a no DQ, or is it just going to be a basic match? And even if he does do that, it will be one or the other going to lose by pinfall. I mean, not pinfall, by DQ. Pinfall, where that came from? I mean, DQ. Like, that does not sound nothing like pinfall. This is where but anyways, we're going to talk about that more later. This is where we got Fallon Henley fighting Tiffany Stratton, which she got the advantage. Started hitting strikes, slamming the back of the head of Tiffany Stratton right onto the middle of the canvas. This is where Fallon Henley was grabbing onto Tiffany Stratton's leg, like hitting her with an alley-oop back drop right onto Tiffany Stratton's back, right off the bottom ropes into the left, the left corner. And then this is where Fallon Henley tried to go for a clothesline, but Tiffany Stratton instantly ducked out of the way. This is where Fallon Henley runs right through the left side of the ropes. This is where Tiffany Stratton tried to grab onto Henley, but she rolled right under Tiffany's legs, got into a single leg Boston Crab, got it locked in, bending it backwards. Like she could have bent her heel of her foot down on touching her back if she wanted to, if not her head. But this is where she's bending it back, starts squeezing. This is where Tiffany Stratton was like, let's go, let me go. And then this is where she started grabbing onto the rope, which the referee started doing this 5-second warning count to Fallon Henley when she got out on 2. This is where Fallon Henley went onto the went right on the apron, trying to jump down. This is where Tiffany Stratton instantly caught her in midair and struck her with a right forearm to the face of Fallon Henley. This is where Tiffany Stratton throws Fallon back in the ring. This is where Tiffany Stratton goes right on the top ropes. Like, this is where she tried to go for a top rope move. This is where she gets picked off and reversed by Fallon Henley with a striking right hand to the jaw. This is where Fallon Henley goes for a suplex right onto the top ropes, which she did a suplex, of course. This is where she went in the back first. This is where she goes for a pin to Tiffany Stratton, but she only got a 1-2 ooh. This is where Tiffany Stratton was grabbing onto her back because she slammed her back so hard to the point, like, if she knocked her out, she would have won this match by that top rope. This is where Fallon Henley went back to that single leg Boston Crab onto Tiffany Stratton, like squeezing that back of the leg and trying to make her tap. But I don't think I was going to work at this point because Tiffany Stratton was crawling towards the ropes and trying to go for a rope break. This is where Fallon Henley drags Tiffany Stratton back into the middle of the ring, hit a single leg, pin her more back, like she could easily make her tap out. Here's your you're welcome. But yeah, Tiffany Stratton fortunately got into grab onto the ropes and grab onto the ropes, and the referee was making her tap, tell her to let go, like before the count of 5. This is where Fallon Henley's like 5. She slide down under the ropes into the left side of the apron. Then she hits a striking uppercut right onto Tiffany Stratton, right to the face, like into the middle of the ropes. This is where she gets back into the ring. This is where let's see. This is where Tiffany Stratton started countering, started hitting striking right to Fallon Henley, picks her up into a body slam, slamming her right into the right side of the ropes, onto the right side of the ring. I believe she hurt her leg, like her left leg, to be the exact. Like, maybe she was excuse me, she was possibly pretending that she hit her leg hard, but really, like, she was just mostly selling it. But at the same time, she probably got a little banged up with that hit into that spot of taking a bump like that. This is where Fallon Henley goes for a crossbody, which is a proven comeback move in all sports entertainment in 2023, which was the mid-rope crossbody. This is where Tiffany Stratton caught her in midair and then hit her right through the ropes and landed her into the left side of the ringside area, hitting her back first. I was like, oh my God, like, that's the planned spot? Like, what the living hell was he thinking? Like, wow. Like, dang, like WWE, you must be insane. More insane than AEW. Like, not even AEW would do something like this. Like, yeah, they probably knocked their opponents off the top rope, but not like in a way that would look like you killed your opponent, like, and they're basically a goner, of course. But of course not at the same time, because this is just metaphoric talk in pro wrestling. But this is where Booker T was like, oh yeah, being more enthusiastically excited than a homeless man in a hurricane, of course. Like, and it was so bad, like, to the point also, like, that the fans start chanting "Holy Sugar Honey Iced Tea," and they weren't saying "Sugar Honey Iced Tea," like, but they said the words that stands for that. Like, they was like "Holy Shib," even though they didn't say "Shib," but this is the PG version of what they say because it was very dangerous. This is where Tiffany Stratton brought it back in the ring, started hitting her with that bad leg, started slamming it to the canvas. This is where she grabbed onto her left leg and start twisting it onto her other leg. This is where she bit this is where she bent the back of her knee like into the ring, like where she does the stand like she was doing the figure eight, but she's bending her leg, tying it together with her left leg, Fallon Henley's left leg, like tied backwards, like she was about to do that bend, like that slamming bend, like slam her back and bend her leg, like something that Triple H and Chavo Guerrero used to do, or should I say, ooh Chavo, like Simon Miller would say. But anyways, this is where she had it locked in onto her leg, like bending it back. This is where Fallon Henley tried to roll out of it, and she used her right leg for an advantage and stomp onto Tiffany Stratton's midsection to bring her down, landing back first into the canvas. This is where Tiffany Stratton grabbed onto Fallon's left leg, gets insecurity by it. This is where Fallon Henley also hits a striking elbows to the face of Tiffany Stratton. This is where Tiffany tried to go for a. This is where she tried to go for another attack attempt. This is where she gets booted in the face by Fallon again. Fallon hits a shoulder tackle, a striking elbow spin. This is where she hits a roundhouse kick. This is where she hits a striking right hand. And this is where she hits another clothesline. This is where she went for a streaming call. This is where Fallon Henley hits the elbow strike. This is where she hits a spinning running bulldog. This is where she goes for the cover to Tiffany, but she only got a 1-2 ooh. This is where like a near fall. This is where she tried to go for the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll up, which Tiffany Stratton pushed her off like for a kick out, which she landed face first right into the middle turnbuckle pad into the bottom right corner. This is where Tiffany Stratton took advantage. This is where she hits a shin-breaking chop block, hits a double dip moonsault finishing move for the 1-2-3, and declaring herself the winner and number one contender, as one of the number one contenders at the Deadline match at NXT Deadline. Like, and who you think is going to be the next 4 women that's going to join Tiffany Stratton into this match? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And we're going to talk about the men's number one contenders match, like into the Deadline match, like at NXT Deadline in next month. The Iron Survivor match, that's what it's called. Like, who's going to be in Tiffany Stratton declares the first woman to be into the Iron Survivors women's match, while the men, well, we're going to see either Tyler Bay or Dijak to be in the match, in the men's Iron Survivors match. And who you think is going to be in the men's as well? Let me know y'all's prediction in the comment section right down below. We're going to move on to and this is where we start. And this is where we start seeing the Goofy dance, which is possibly the second goofiest wrestling of the night with what's his name? With Wes Lee doing some silly dance with Mackenzie Mitchell, and this is where we finally do get the interview. And this is where Mackenzie Mitchell told Wesley's like, Wesley, welcome back to NXT. And this is where Wesley's like, this is a celebration, is it, Mackenzie? This is where she does a high five too. This is where he does a high five to Mackenzie Mitchell. This is where Mackenzie was like, yeah, that's right. Like, he made a return at last week at Night 2's Halloween Havoc event when Dominic Mysterio successfully defended his NXT North American Championship against Nathan Frazer. Like, what? And this is where he's like, what made you come back to WWE? I mean, NXT, I should say. And this is where Wesley's like, you think I'm going to really leave and be low like that? Like, and this is where Wesley's like Mackenzie, I was in a hamster roll, like, lately, like, you know? Not so fast. Like, I couldn't stop myself from running back. Like, so I had to hop up track. Like, now I'm back now. Like, head's right, body's right, and then actually got a whole lot of lists that I would take care of. But on the top of it is smack. Anything, and that one of them being smacking Dominic Mysterio around the mouth a bit and winning my NXT North American Championship match. And then this is where Mackenzie Mitchell's like, okay, that's fair enough. And then this is where Baron Corbin's like, hey, everybody. Like, I'm sorry if you decide to finally show up. Like, are you finally showing them, huh, Wesley? Like, the internet's finally going crazy. Like, Like, but seriously, nobody actually cares. And this is where Wesley was like, "Why are you so damn angry, Corbin? Like, like, aren't you supposed to? Aren't you here to see Ilya? Like, and this is where Baron Corbin was like." He's like, I don't have to leave for NXT. At least I don't have to leave NXT for 3 months and demand a title match. Like, that's something that I could do, but like you saw what I did there. Like, and this is where Wesley was like, "Do you know Ilya is gonna definitely beat the brakes off you, especially what you did last week? Like when you basically destroy him. Like not the way you talk. Like you make me happy because I did by my damn self." And Baron Corbin's like, "You did that by yourself? Like you and Ilya? Like you and Ilya will finally have something in common. Like when I get my hands on the Ilya. Like you both will be failures. Like and I was like, that's something very hypocritical, even for Baron Corbin to say, because he even for this return, he's a failure when it comes to capturing the NXT championship. Maybe he reinvented himself and starting to gain some kind of momentum, but he's a failure when it comes to championships. And it looks like I cannot see him as NXT championship. And even if he is, I just don't see him just yet. Like if that's only if there's future plans for him being the black and gold and yellow and white championship. But anyways, this is where he walks off. This is where Wesley is like, I need to continue to refilling out my list. Like, excuse me, Mackenzie. This is where she tells her husband, Vic Joseph, and his fellow commentator Booker T, like saying, "Back to you guys." This is where we got another backstage interview with the other interview lady. This is where she asked Braun Breaker about his match against Von Wagner. He's like, this match against Von Wagner, this is going to be the show that's going to be a comeback in WWE history because I'm going to desecrate whatever's left of Von Wagner at the ring tonight. Something I should have done like 2 months ago when I took him off the shuffles. I took him off the shuffles in our first bout. And and everybody will know this was the fool that thought could be the guy that can beat Braun Breaker. This is where we hear the barking noises because he was making his entrance to get ready for his match against Von Wagner, which that was up next. And I'll say WWE kind of disappointed the match finish, except for the end of the post-match segment. But we're going to talk about that in just a moment. We're going to talk about what happened in the start of the match, which had Von Wagner finally making his return, not in therapy anymore. He's in his perfect conscience back of functioning of fighting Braun Breaker. And he was bringing the fight to Braun Breaker. Even when they took it in the outside, this is where he tried to go for a flying crossbody, which wasn't a comeback move for Braun Breaker. Because when he tried to go right on to Von Wagner with a crossbody, this is where Von Wagner hits a standing boot to the face to the former NXT champion. This is where he was back on his game. This is where he went around and he got him back in the ring. This is where he went right on top of him into the middle ropes in the top right corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where he started hitting right hands to Braun Breaker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With fans saying it along with him. This is where Braun Breaker tried to go for a striking monstrous clothesline to Von Wagner, but he ducks right out of the way. This is where he goes up right into the mid ropes. This is where he hits a flying clothesline right onto Braun Breaker. This is where he started shaking the ropes yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think it's where he lost some consciousness because his head started hurting. He was spinning around, looking very dizzy because he's still not at 100%, which I was thinking oh no, maybe they should have reconsidered of making this match happen. Probably they should have waited until they got into a bigger event and make sure he's fully back to his normal self, until NXT deadline. But anyway, this is where Robert Stone's are checking on him. Yo, are you okay, man? Are you okay, bro? This is where Braun Breaker knees him right to the back, face first, right into the right side of the ropes. Braun Breaker did unforgivingly. This is where Von Wagner's like, come on, don't let him take you off your game, Von. Von, come on, get up. This is where Braun Breaker was like, you can start crying for your friend to get back up, but he's not getting back up. I'll make sure he's gonna be triple times worse than he was when I bashed his skull in with the tip of the steel steps. This is where he tried to. This is where he get. This is where he start. This is where he start hitting right hands to the head of Von Wagner into the bottom left corner of Tina Turner. Started trying to punch him to death. Started beating the absolute trash out of the poor guy. This is where he tried to go for a German suplex, which he successfully did, which I think not only hits the lower back of Von Wagner, but perhaps the back of his head, which I'm not sure if that's the bad place of his part of his head that he had plenty of surgeries on, but I think it probably was most like 95, if not 99% of his head had to get some medical treatment. Of course, yeah. This is where Braun Breaker was boastfully and arrogantly was back on his feet, walking around, people staring at them, doing this pose, and then fans started mockingly roof at him, like the dog bark, I should say, like, whoo, whoo, whoo. This is where Braun Breaker's like, and then he's telling the fans, like, you think he's going to beat me down? You think he's going to get his little vengeance that you call? I don't damn think so. This is where he started taking off his onesie suspenders off. This is where he get ready to do the Steiner recliner, saying, game over. This is where he tried to go for his uncle. This is where he started trying to do the Steiner recliner like he did to Von Wagner's manager, Robert Stone, like a move that his uncle and his dad made famous in their time in WWE. This is where he started locking in the recliner. This is where Von Wagner was not tapping out under no circumstances. This is where Von Wagner was like, I'm not Von Wagner, his manager, Robert Stone's like, come on, I know you guys still have enough fight left in you to bring down Braun Breaker. Like, come on, get up. This is where Von Wagner finally got up with his manager Robert Stone's words. This is where he rammed him face first right onto the top turnbuckle. This is where Braun Breaker goes for a right. This is where he goes for a right hand right onto the head of Von Wagner. But Von Wagner's like, well, you think that it's gonna easily get smushed if you hit it? Like, I know, like, no way, like, nah. Looking like he's about to take a page out of LA Knight's promo playbook. This is where he was like, like my hand is full of steel now. Like you cannot crush it ever again. And this is where I go for a right hand, but Von Wagner instantly counters, hits a right hand to the head of Braun Breaker. Start continuously hitting right hands like boom, 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 like, whoa. This is where he Irish whips. Braun Breaker right to the right side, and this is where Braun Breaker hits a flying clothesline right towards him. This is where he goes for another clothesline. This is where Von Wagner goes right up into a double underhook suplex position, which he successfully did double underhook suplex. This is where he goes for a clothesline splash right onto Braun Breaker. This is where he hits a big boot right to the face, running right to the left side of the ropes. This is where he starts shaking the ropes, bouncing around the ring. This is where Von Wagner is getting ready to go for his signature move, which I believe he was trying to do my signature move, which is the Death Valley Driver, which I call it the Sag Valley Driver. And I believe that's Von Wagner's signature move, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not another fireman's. But this is where Braun Breaker rolls out of the maneuver, pushes Von Wagner right to the ropes. This is where he hits a sliding back heel kick, drop kick onto Braun Breaker. This is where he nearly had him when the referee counted 1, the referee counted 2, but he got a ooh, which was, but he only got a ooh, which was 2.99999 minus 0.1 second away from being 3. This is where Braun Breaker rolls out of the ring. This is where This is where Von Wagner started taking things out of the timekeepers into the announcers tables deck. This is where Von Wagner goes for the. This is where he tried to go for the jackknife power bomb, but this is where Braun Breaker was countered. This is where he started hitting right hand strikes right into the head of Von Wagner. This is where he throws him right into the symbol of the steel steps, the same ones that he smashed poor Von Wagner's skull with. This is where. But and this is where Vic Joseph reminded Booker T, saying, like, that's what all started and that's what happened. Like, about 2 months ago when the last time these two guys fought each other. And this is where Robert Stone's like, you better not test my patience, bro. Like, I'm not playing. Like, it doesn't matter how small I am. Like, don't push me. Like, don't try to humiliate my client like you did 2 months ago, like over 60 days ago, of course. But this is where Braun Breaker hits a low blow right onto to Von Wagner. This is where he's like, come on, like you better stay where you at. And this is where he tried to grab him on the chair. I was like, damn, Robert Stone, you were so close, but you waited too long because he stepped onto the chair. This is where they're hanging on to the. This is where Braun Breaker tried to go for the. This is where Braun Breaker goes for the Gorilla Press Slam right onto the announce table. This is where Von Wagner came in, saved by the Von Bale. Like, grab him off. This is where Von Wagner turned him around. This is where Von Wagner makes sure that Robert Stone was doing all right, but this is where he gets instantly speared after the distraction, like knocking poor Von Wagner out. And this is where he goes for another spear. Let's see. This is where he hits the second time with a spear, but he only got and this is where he finally do get the 1, 2, 3, which was a double whammy for Von Wagner and a double lucky maneuver from Braun Breaker, which this is where Robert Stone was like, I had enough of your game. Like, I want you out of our life once and for all. This is where Robert Stone was getting ready to grab him to the steel chair. And this is where the fans start chanting, "You effed up" to, I believe it was Robert Stone. This is where Robert Stone's like, go ahead, try to do something to me right now. Like, if you think you're all that, if you're the big dog, like, do it right now. This is where Braun Breaker grab him by his neck by his left hand. And this is where he's like, I'm being sick and tired of your big mouth right now. Like, I'm going to do exactly worse things that I did to your client. And this is where I'm going to end your life. I was like hopefully you really don't, because that's a crime, and murdering somebody is a crime, and that's going to be the number one crime encounter of the night of NXT. This is where Von Wagner finally turned him around and kicked him right into the gut, hits him with the jackknife power bomb right through the table, like finally bringing Braun Breaker down. And this is where Vic Joseph was getting excited, saying like, yes, finally he did it. He did it. He brought Braun Breaker down. He did it, Booker. That's what he was like. And that's where fans were chanting NXT, NXT, NXT. Like, they were chanting that around the arena. This is where, and this is where Robert Stone's like, that's what I'm talking about, Von. That's what I'm talking about, Von Wagner. You did it. You did it. You finished him. You did it. Oh, yeah. I was like, unfortunately, he didn't win. Like, and that was a shame. And remember, like I said, this was disappointing, the finish, the match finish, but it was very satisfying into the post-match segment, which we saw Von Wagner finally jackknife and powerbomb Braun Breaker. Like, from this 2 months of this build of the rivalry, hopefully they have one more match to end it once and for all with Von Wagner getting the win. Like, he might have lost him twice, but the third time probably would be the charm for Von Wagner. Hopefully that's the case in the storyline. what you guys think, though. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where Von Wagner was like, come on, shake it there, put it there. You did it. You know, I'm so proud of you, Von. This is where they shook hands and hugged it out like, yeah, we did it. Like, we finally brought him down. Yes. I was like, yes. How very satisfying, even though they should have gave Von Wagner the pinfall victory. But, I mean, hey, like, he brought him down and he kind of ended him once and for all. This is where we saw another recap of Trick Williams set Carmelo Hayes' attentions, like with him kind of he being the one that cost Carmelo Hayes the shot at the NXT championship, but he saw some suspicion into him of being the potential guy who attacked him, which we don't know about that for sure because nobody haven't confessed, including Carmelo Hayes. I mean, even if he denied any claims, like we cannot sure if we can trust him. This is where he tells what's her name, Mackenzie Mitchell, that he's like, I can't believe that Trick Williams is listening to people of saying like I'm the one that attacked him. Like he's like I know Trick Williams. Like, and he wants to answer this to go face to face. That's exactly what he's gonna get tonight because I'm that man. And this is where Mackenzie Mitchell was like, "What? Why you say that?" And this is where Carmelo Hayes instantly replied to Mackenzie Mitchell saying like, "Because we are Trick and Mellow gang, that's why, and we always will be that." This is where we get. This is where we get a tag team match with Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez taking on Roxanne Perez and Kalani Jordan, which that was up next. Which we're going to talk about that right here, right now. But we got a hype up video with Butch and Rich Holland of the Brawling Brutes. I was like, what the hell they're doing here? Like, ain't they full time on SmackDown? So why do they need to be on NXT unless they're going to be on NXT for a while? Since considering Sheamus is going to be out for a little while for the next couple of months, and also they want to give some for the two members of the Brawling Brutes something to do. So probably moving them back temporarily back to NXT, I guess. And they just recently lost to Pretty Deadly, so I guess this is the best decision they could possibly come up with. Like after them losing to Pretty Deadly, they could be have something to do on the Black and Yellow brand. I'll say also for the fact that they're possibly in a feud with Scripps and Lucius and Bronco, which they did took a shot at them. This is where we do have the tag team match with Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan. Roxanne Perez and Kalani Jordan taking on Kalani Jordan and Elektra Lopez. This is where we have Ariana Grace saying thank you. I don't know why she's saying thank you, like because like nobody did not expect her to be in this match, even though she was in the backstage segment angle when Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez challenged Roxanne Perez and Kalani Jordan into this tag match in the first place. But still, this is where the daughter of Santino Marella came out. She was like, as I, like, as me is the, what did she call herself? She was like, thank you very much. She was like, good evening, everyone. As Miss NXT here, I, Ariana Grace, would love to wish you four lovely ladies the best of luck tonight. And looking forward to showcase your talents. She was like, I love you all. Like, I just want to let you know, she started fake crying, of course, and being so fake emotional. This is where Roxanne Perez was not buying it. She was like, whatever. Like if I'm worried about Elektra Lopez, I could be slapping that fake sadness out of your face. And this is where Roxanne Perez was like, what are you do? This is where she can instantly get caught with a right hand nailed right into her face. This is where Elektra Lopez, this is where she slammed right to the back. That's where she slammed right into the back. This is where she tried Irish whip Roxanne Perez right to the bottom left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. But Roxanne Perez instantly rolled out of under the arm, twisted her arm in the process, hit her with a striking right forearm. This is where she continued with the forearms and elbows, front elbows to Elektra Lopez until she answered back with a striking double hands to the throat. This is where she tried to go for a back body drop, which she did so to the former NXT Women's Champion. This is where she tags in Lola Vice. This is where she started shaking her head, This is where she started squeezing her neck and face round to the ropes until the referee continue his 5-second warning count, like which he got the 2, and then this is where Elektra Lopez is like, okay, I got my hands off her. This is where Lola Vice instantly and easily hit a scissors kick right onto the face of Roxanne Perez. This is where Lola Vice goes for the cover, but she only got a 1.8 second count. This is where we got a cross armor from Lola Vice onto Roxanne Perez, and this is where Roxanne tried to roll her up into a surprise roll up, but she only got a 1 even count. This is where Roxanne Perez got her back in the middle of the ring, twist her arm around and swing it down to the ground. This is where she tried to twist the arm once again and twist it and hold on to and bend the arm forward right into the rope. This is where she twists the arm underward. And this is where she grab onto the hand of Lola Vice. But this is where she smacks her hand right onto her chest. This is where she get ready to go for. This is where she hits another chop. This is where she goes right onto the top rope. Goes right onto the top rope into her corner in the top left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. Tagged in her tag partner of the night, Kalani Jordan in the process, and go for an arm drag, which Kalani Jordan came in, and this is where Lola Vice tried to go for the clothesline. This is where Kalani Jordan easily ducked out of the way. This is where she pushed. What's her name? This is where she pushed Lola Vice right to the left side of the ropes. This is where she goes for a springboard arm drag onto those exact ropes. Hits a missile drop kick, getting some kind of retribution onto Vice. This is where she pins her down, but she only got a 1 and a 1 goes for a 2 count even. This is where she picks up. Lola Vice in a guillotine position. This is where Lola Vice speared her right into her corner to the bottom right corner of the rope, which Elektra Lopez tagged herself in the match. Elektra Lopez goes right up, hit her with a running hip attack right to the midsection. That made Booker T say, "Oh yes," more excited than a homeless man in a hurricane. This is where she hits a clothesline right onto Lola Vice. Not Lola Vice. I mean, Elektra Lopez did to Kalani Jordan, and this is where she kicks out of it right after. This is where she tags back in Lola Vice. This is where she starts stomping onto. This is where she starts stomping onto the neck of Kalani Jordan. This is where the referee was doing this 5-second warning count until. This is where what's her name? This is where also Lola Vice hits the running hip attack right onto Kalani Jordan, and this is where she picks up what's her name? This is where she picks up Kalani Jordan back up. Irish whipped her right to the right side of the corner, run right through the right side, not right side, the left side of the ropes. This is where she tried to go for a striking clothesline to Jordan, but she ducks, hits, and goes right to the right, runs right through the right side of the ropes, hits a running crossbody, which is the proving most comeback move in sports entertainment in 2023. This is where she goes for a roll-up, but she only got a 1 even count. Tags in Roxanne Perez. She goes for a Luthez press right onto Lola Vice, beating the absolute rubbish out of her. This is where she tried to go for a striking forearm to the face of Lola Vice, but she ducks, kicks her right. She kicks Roxanne Perez right into the midsection. This is where she tags in Elektra Lopez. This is where she runs right to the left side of the rope. She goes for a clothesline. She does the clothesline to Roxanne Perez while Lola Vice trips Roxanne's legs over in the process. That's where Lopez tried to go for a pin, but she only got a 1.7 second count. Started hitting elbow strikes to the shoulder of Roxanne's. That's where the fans start. This is where the fans start chanting Roxy when Elektra Lopez tags in Lola Vice. Did the most fakest hip attack to the face, double hip attack to the face that I've ever seen. Like the worst fake hip attack I ever seen. Like this is where Lola Vice picks this is where she picks Roxanne Perez back up slowly with her kneeling down. Here's where Lola Vice like, I'm the breakout tournament, and I'm the better one than you ever been, Roxanne. This is where Roxanne struck her right into the midsection, hit her midsection for that insult after she said that to her. This is where Lola Vice tried to go for a clothesline. She ducks, hit the side Russian leg sweep, landing her right into the back. This is where she's trying to roll up, trying to get into Kalani Jordan's corner, which she easily tagged herself into the match. Hit a striking forearm right onto Lola Vice and hits a front elbow strike right onto Elektra Lopez, knocking her outside of the ring. And this is where she hits another striking forearm right onto Lola Vice. After that, hit a cartwheel elbow drop, back elbow slam right onto Lola Vice. Hits a kip up. This is where Kalani Jordan kicks her into the gut. This is where she goes to her finishing move, which there's a high impact offense of a playmaker from Kalani Jordan. I was like, wow. Like first it was Randy Orton, now MVP. Like first it was Randy Orton as the Ozone, and then now MVP still has it to this day. He occasionally does it when he occasionally wrestles. He does the playmaker time to time. And now Kalani Jordan's doing that. Like, I'm not sure if it's a finishing move or a signature move, but she does that now. This is where Kalani Jordan tried to go for a pinfall, but when referee counted to one, this is where Elektra Lopez instantly saved the day for her tag partner, hitting a single axe handle. Or else Kalani Jordan would have won and got some retribution on the Lola Vice. But she tagged in Roxanne Perez. This is where Lola Vice slams Kalani Jordan right into the face first, right into the ropes. Like she landed on the outside. This is where Roxanne Perez grabs onto the leg of Lola Vice. But this is where Lola Vice turns around and hits her with a quick spinning kick right onto the midsection of Roxanne. This is where she finally tags in Elektra Lopez. This is where Elektra Lopez tried to go for a spine buster, but this is where Roxanne Perez roll out of it. She turned, kicked her right into the face, made her turn around. She hit the bicycle flying knee strike right into the back of Elektra Lopez, which she accidentally tackles into Lola Vice. This is where Roxanne Perez hits the roundhouse kick. This is where she goes for the code red, or more like code rocks, more like, which that's what Roxanne Perez calls it. This is where she tags in Kalani Jordan. This is where she goes right to a suicide dive, right onto Lola Vice. This is where Kalani Jordan went right onto the top rope. This is where she hits the double dip. She goes for the high split-legged moonsault right on the top rope. Pins Elektra Lopez. This is where she finally got the 1, 2, 3, and finally gets the retribution that she was looking for against both Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice that she finally gotten by teaming with Roxanne Perez. And they're the winners. And what do you guys think what's next for both women into into their current roles in NXT. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And do you think that Kalani Jordan's going to be the next? Is going to be the next star that's going to possibly be the next NXT Women's Championship, possibly like in the next year or two, of course. Probably between the years of 2024 or 2025, I could see her being NXT Women's Champion. But yeah, but until then, she's possibly going to have her ups and down moments. Like mostly her ups moments are being the underdog, the dark horse underdog into the women's division in NXT right now. And what do you think about when do you think that that Lola Vice is gonna cash in her women's breakouts tournament or cash in her breakouts tournament contract? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I think she's gonna probably sneakily trying to cash it in probably either at next month's deadline event. Either at the deadline event, like when she defends the title, possibly against Xia Li, or possibly at New Year's Evil. Whether she honestly cashed it in onto Lyra Valkyria, or even sneakily do it when she done facing her opponent at the New Year's Evil event, which only time will tell for that. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section right down below. And this is where we're going to see, and this is where we're seeing a vignette of a new gimmick of Joe Gacy, because this is where he had to say, he was like, I look around, people judged me, blamed me, called me the weird guy. Some of you called me the maniac. It's just me. This is how I was built. This is how I was brought into this world. Like, and then people that I surrounded myself with, or with somehow they get the voice so quiet. And he's like, I barely heard. Like, I still did. And he's like, they will never, a room full of people, they'll never felt more alone. Like, now, he's like, now I know my own personal hell that I don't know exactly what to do. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I do know what to do. And I was like, okay, whatever that means. But we'll probably see a new psychotic gimmick from Joe Gacy. I'm not sure when he's going to release this new gimmick in the side of him, but this is where I got a mistake. Like, Otis was supposed to face Drew Gulak. Like I said, it's supposed to face him next week. When it's really next week. Up next, I should say. When it's tonight. When it was tonight. Which it was a squash match, to be honest, comes to think of it. But even though Drew Gulak brought in a couple of offensive fight to the big beast of the Alpha Academy, but it still wasn't enough to put him away, rather vice versa. And this is where it's like, before we do have the match, this is where we got a vignette. Anyway, this is where we have a vignette of when Ilya Dragunov successfully defended his NXT championship against Carmelo Hayes. And he's like, as soon as I get into the back, I got brutally and cowardly attacked by Baron Corbin. He's like, they're drawing the force next week. He was like, okay, Baron Corbin, you're sort of a little wind off, like you gave her a tucking. Like, my eyes are the window to my sword. And so take a good look at me right now. Because now you high rate and unleash the mad dragon in me. And he was like, well, may have met before. And he was like, this title around my shoulders, like, I'm a different man. I'm on a totally different level before I even won this belt. And he was like, and just remember this, like, Baron, like, the only person that can slay the dragon is the dragon, like, himself, which is me. And this is where Baron Corbin was looking into the. And then this is where we had in North, we got interest in North and Malik Blade and Hank Walker, and Tank came in, like, Tank Hawk, I believe that's what his name is. Tank Hawk, that's what his name. Yeah, Hank Walker and Tank Hawk came in. They were like, it was like, yeah, like he like, and this is where interest in North came in and said like, whoa, like you did not make Ilya Dragunov unhappy. You made Ilya Dragunov. He's like, and then this is where Hank Walker was like, yeah, sir, you did. And this is where Baron Corbin was like, yeah, whatever. Like, you just don't know. This is where he walked off. This is where they start, before them start looking at each other, saying, like, what do he means by that? But anyways, we do get this match with Otis against Drew Gulak. I was like, why is Drew Gulak? What's the point of Drew Gulak of accepting this challenge if he's not gonna bring that much of a fight to the Otis? But this is where he tried to go for a headlock. This is where he started trying to twist his head around. This is where Otis started growing. This is where he started going front and back, started doing this dance. This is where he started rolling his arms off of him. This is where he hits a running clothesline right onto Drew Gulak, which he barely fell down face first in the ground. This is where he's like, it's all in the belly's. It's all about the belly strength. This is where he hits his face right into his belly. This is where he brought him down once again. This is where he hits a belly. This is where he hits a chest belly slam right into the face of Drew Gulak. This is where he hits a spear right into the midsection of Gulak. This is where he Irish whips Drew Gulak right into the left corner. This is where he tried to go for a spear, but he hit the shoulder first, right onto the steel ring post. This is where Akira Tozawa, Chad Gable, and Maxine Dupree, the replacement of Mandy Rose, of course, saying like, all right, like you can do, like, are you okay? Like, come on, like you still can do. This is where the referee started counting 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where Drew Gulak tried to go for running attacking splash right onto the exact same corner where he hit his shoulder first right to the inner part of the Rita the ring post, which is the bottom left corner. This is where he hit the striking elbow drop. I was like, and then this is where he tried to go on the top rope. This is where he tried to go for this is where he goes for a sliding clothesline. I was like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't completely a squash match, but like it was towards the end that made it a squash match. I should have made it more clear and specific like that. This is where Drew Gulak tried to go for a triangle sleeper onto Otis, which he finally grabbed onto the ropes, but it's still nothing was not bringing him down because he managed to take his arms off the ropes. This is where Booker T's like, yeah, oh yeah, like no one's not stopping Otis, being more enthusiastic the third time of the night, of being more enthusiastically excited than a homeless man in a hurricane. This is where he pins Drew Gulak like down when he tried to go for the triangle choke hold. That's where like when the referee counted 1 and 2, but he managed to get his shoulders up. This is where he tried to go again. This is where he only got him a 2 even count. This is where he lifts him up, hits a standing powerbomb onto Drew Gulak. This is where Otis went down to the ground. This is where he hits a shoulder tackle right onto Drew Gulak when both men were up, like run right to the ropes. This is where he slaps him right into the chops, hitting triple back elbows in a row, trying to make it his version of the Judas effect, of course. I was like, but what's the point of doing that, Otis? If you should really not do that maneuver, well, at least I would say not do the maneuver entirely. I would say, what's the point of you doing that maneuver? Like, if you're not asking permission for Chris Jericho first. Well, I'm not sure if he needed to ask permission from the Ocho or the demo god, or whatever you want to call him. Now I'll say more like the Ocho now, but yeah, he was doing that, even though it looked really good and impressive. This is where he hits a splash right onto the ropes, I believe. This is where he put him right into the middle of the canvas, which he ran right onto the bottom side of the ropes right here. The bottom side of the ropes. This is where he started wiggling his belly and his hips, like wiggling them around. This is where he was getting ready to do his signature move, which I believe was the caterpillar. the Caterpillar elbow drop right onto Drew Gulak. This is where he picks Drew Gulak back, pick him up into a sit-out power bomb, pins him. He got the 1-2-3, like showing the team Gulak and Bourne and Dempsey and Kemp that they're nothing to play with, and he's a big beast whenever he wants to be. Like, and when he shows his dominance and his big strength, his big strength is a 330-pounder big man. That's very underrated, by the way. Like, he deserves better. Like, he shows that he's a well-talented superstar in WWE. Even though he has in his resume as a former Raw Tag Team Champion and a Mr. Money in the Bank until losing it to The Miz, of course. That was very ashamed. Like, it was completely pointless of putting the briefcase on him in the first place if you don't have no plans of putting the title off of him. But that's in the past, but we're going to talk about more of it. But yeah, this was a very, really great win, a successful win from the Alpha Academy's big man. What do you think? What's next for the Alpha Academy, especially if they stay on NXT or they're gonna remain on Raw? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where Kiana James congratulated Tiffany Stratton about her match against Fallon Henley, because she had some issues with Henley herself before, even though they were both former women's tag team champions on one hand, but. Yeah, but unfortunately WWE hardly mentions the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship since they've been unified by the women's tag team titles in the main roster. And then she was like now I'm in the match, like now I can sit back and relax, and then he's like when she told Kiana James, like, it was nothing. Like, I knew I had her under my thumb, and then I was like, I can sit back and relax now. See the other 4 women that's gonna be in the Iron Survivor match to lose to me, the center of the universe, and capture my NXT Women's Championship back. And then she was like, again, and this is where Kiana James said, one of those spots though is gonna be my name's gonna be reserved and. It's going to be reserved into, and this is where, Kiana James was like, we all can agree that Roxanne Perez is also cannot win again. I just can't win. And then this is where Tiffany Stratton's like, this women's division is definitely the hottest division in all of WWE, because me and you. And this is where Kiana James agrees, like, yeah, we're pretty much carrying the whole entire women's division on our backs. And this is where Tiffany Stratton's like, well, we cannot let everybody know that we're established, that knock us off our courage. And this is where Kiana James is like, he do not deserve to breathe the same air as we're breathing right now. And then And this is where Tiffany Stratton's like, neither does the Perez, because we both seen what you did 2 weeks ago at Night One time when Havoc at the Devil's Playground match. And then this is where Kiana James like, absolutely not. Like, and I guess I did like that's going to come out between me and you in the Iron Survivor Challenge. And this is where Tiffany Stratton's like, I know who's winning. And this is where Kiana James like, me too. And then this is where Kiana, and then this is where she's like, I better remind her, right? Because she wasn't convinced that she was agreeing that it's going to be her, the center of the universe. But we also saw Boa and his tag partner in the background. I was like, since when the last time we saw Boa? Like, I haven't seen him since last year, especially when he was in that feud with Solo Sikoa. Where has he been? But up next, we get the Iron Survivor qualifying match with Dijak against Dijak. This is where we got a Chase U segment with Andre Chase. There's another class with his students, with especially his tag partner and his tag team champion partner, Duke Hudson, and Duke Hudson and his female teammates, and now other new students. With the first one being also, with one being what's his name? what's her name? Uh, Thea Hale, that's right, Thea Hale, and what's her name, and JC Jane, and this is where JC Jane's like now, like you and your tag partner, I want to congratulate you guys, and now and it's been noted that you're gonna defend those titles in a rematch against the family of Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. He's like, oh yeah, like yeah, we can do this, like yeah, like me and Duke have this like we have this like basically under control. This match under control. We're gonna remind Tony D'Angelo and Stacks that who well the reason why we won those tag team championships. And I was like, I wonder if this is gonna be some kind of a screwy finish with JC Jane. Basically, this is gonna be a sign that JC Jane's gonna be the one that's gonna cost Andre Chase and Duke Hudson the tag team championship because technically Andre Chase is the reason why she didn't win the women's tag team championship against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And we possibly will see a 6-person tag feud with JC Jane teaming with Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo to take on Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, and Thea Hale. Which do you guys want to see a match like that? Or do you think it's best for JC Jane to stay with Chase U and delay her heel turn onto the group in a better date? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Like, and do you think Team Chase University is gonna retain their tag titles next week, or the family's gonna recapture their tag team championship? Y'all also let me know down below. But we do have this match. It's just Tyler Bate taking on Dijak, which we see Dijak Irish whipping Tyler Bate, manhandling him like if he's still a child. Which I would say some of you older and elder viewers probably would say he is still a child. I was like, yeah, of course, in y'all's eyes, because Tyler Bates like 4 or 5 years older than me because he's like 25, 26. This is where he Irish up on the other side. I believe he's 26. But anyway, this is where he Irish up into the left side, I believe. I mean, the bottom left side of the team of the turnbuckle court. This is where we try to go for a splash on him onto that side again, but only just to get his foot up and kick him right to the face of Dijak. And this is where Tyler Bate did him with a knee strike, hit him with a mid rope European uppercut right onto Dijak. This is where he thought it was going to be it. I was like, it's just a maneuver that you do. Like, even Christian Cage knows that's not a move to put away their opponents. Like, you should know that, Tyler Bate, for your 6 years of experience in WWE. And this is where, yeah, he also got a kick out. This is where Tyler Bate goes right and picks. This is where he picks up. Dijak, hit him in a headlock. Picks up his right leg, swing it into Dijak's way, face first, right onto his face. This is where Tyler Bate picks. This is where he picks him back up. This is where he does it again, like swinging his right foot right into the face of Dijak. This is where he started doing repeatedly. This is where he tried to Irish whip. This is where Dijak tried to intercept and make a comeback. Irish whips Tyler Bate into the process. He go to the ropes. He tried to go for a kick to Dijak. When he hit the step up insecurity right on the Dijak, making him flip out of the ring, right through the middle ropes into the left side. This is where Tyler Bate get back up. This is where he goes onto the right side of the ropes, run right into the left side, hits a flying cross body, which is a proven comeback move in all of sports entertainment / pro wrestling in 2023. This is where he got him. This is where Dijak. And this is where he tried to pick up Dijak. This is where he tried to go for a crossbody once again off the apron, but this is where Dijak caught him in midair. This is where he hits him with the knees to the back. This is where he swings him right on. This is where he swings him over to the top left corner of the former Barry Barricade, let him right on top, like boom, and yeah. And it's already sad enough Barry Barricade, Connor, and I'll send more of my condolences to Barry and his friends at this heartbreaking time. But anyways, this is where Dijak started chuckling. This is where he got him back in the ring. This is where he tried to go for possibly a stick. This is where he goes up in the top rope. This is where Tyler Bate tried to go for a top rope suplex. This is where Dijak trying to get out of a standing suplex that Tyler Bate was trying to do to him. This is where Tyler Bate lifted up his leg up, right, tucked into his body. This is where he hits the suplex right off the top rope, which was like a fisherman's plex kind of position into the canvas. This is where both men were down. This is where he hits a striking right hand to the face of Dijak. This is where Dijak answered back with a strike right into the back in his face. This is where he's not doing that until they got back up. This is where Tyler Bate tried to go for his side signature move, which is the stop sign knockout. Like he put up his right hand like a stop sign and sneak aside with a right hand to the jaw of Dijak, but he caught him in midair and hit him with a sit out, like a southwestern heavens of a sit out choke slam. This is where he tried to go for a pin to Tyler Bate, but he only got a 1.299999999 negative 0.1 second from being 3. This is where Tyler Bate was slowly but surely getting back up into the bottom left corner while Dijak was in the top right corner of the turnbuckle. This is where Dijak was getting ready to hit the spinning discus forearm strike. This is where Tyler Bate caught him in midair with a fireman's carry position, spin him around like he usually do, like he's been doing for the past, I'll say 6-7 years, like maybe if not longer. Like you spin him around like 20 times straight, like if he's the new British version of Cesaro, like spin him around like. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody was counting a little bit to the spin until he finally brought Dijak down, which both of them were down to the ground because Tyler Bate was so dizzy and so tired and exhausted to the point he fell down, and he probably would have been down for the count, like if Dijak wasn't down already. This is where Tyler Bate was slowly but surely getting back up. This is where he tried to go for, and this is where Dijak tried to go for a swinging forearm to the face, but Tyler Bate instantly dodged it by an inch. This is where Dijak was very dizzy himself. He was trying to get up. He was trying to see exactly where he's at. This is where the referee tried to say, "All right, Dijak, are you okay?" And this is where Dijak's like, "Don't touch me." And he thought it was the Tyler Bate, so he tried to swing at him. This is where the referee ducked out of the way. This is where Tyler Bate hits a right hand to the face of Dijak. This is where Dijak answered back with a super kick. This is where he tried to go for a swinging boot to the face to Tyler Bate, but he ducked right out of the way. Hit the springboard, not springboard, more like a rebound clothesline, which he brought down Dijak to his feet. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he only got a 1 and a 2.999 count. This is where Tyler Bate try to go for a suplex, but he got tossed into a suplex tossed by Dijak. This is where we had. This is where Dijak. This is where Tyler Bate also got Dijak off the top rope onto the bottom left corner, try to go for a German suplex, but somehow, some way, Dijak managed to do a very successful backflip that still have him on his feet. I was like, Dijak, like, how did you still are up on your feet? How? Like what? Like what in the living hell? Like. What? Like, how did he got up on his feet? I can see Tyler Bate would get up flipping like that, like because he's in a ricochet level. But Dijak, like he's more like in Damian Priest's level. Like he may be a little bit athletic, but he's still the big man that usually do choke slams and power bomb slams. Like he's more like a powerhouse than an athletic cruiserweight. And even Vic Joseph was shocked. He was like he's a heavyweight and he's moving like a cruiserweight right now. Like how the hell? Like, he spin around to a kick to the face of Tyler Bate. This is where he nearly was on his way to the deadline. Like he when he tried to pin Tyler Bate after that, but he only got a 1-2.9999999999999 negative 0.1 second away from being 3. But this is where he was doing very disappointed. This is where he tried to go for the. This is where Dijak tried to hit his Dijak drop right onto Tyler Bate. This is where he started hitting the striking right hand to the face of Dijak. This is where Tyler Bate tried to go for his finishing move, which is the Tyler driver. This is where Dijak flips him over, which he landed on his feet, like something that Cesaro, the former Cesaro, now known as Claudio Castagnoli, would do. This is where Dijak tried to go for a striking right hand, but he put his leg up onto his hand. This is where he flips him up and drops it down with his head bowing down. This is where he knees him right to the face. This is where Tyler Bate goes right into the mid rope, try to go for the flying elbow drop, but Dijak caught him in the air. I was like, is it gonna be a guarantee? Like, which he hits his drop Dijak maneuver, which that statistic goes like if it doesn't work successfully the first time, it's gonna be a guarantee that it will the second time. Which that was the case of Dijak into this match, which the referee counted 1, 2, 3, and earned himself an opportunity to the men's Iron Survivor match at Deadline at NXT's next pay-per-view in December. And what are you guys thinking of Dijak winning this match and earning himself that opportunity? Now, y'all let me know down in the comments below. And who you think what's next? The 4 other guys. Yes, keep continuing to let me know down below. This is where we finally get a explanation. I mean, I would say not exactly an explanation. This is where we finally get. This is where we see another hype video of the Iron Survivors match where every women and men that's in the singles division earn themselves an opportunity for into the Iron Survivor match, like which we will need to have 4 more men and women to be qualified into the match. Like if they can win the qualifying match, of course, respectively. We already have Tiffany Stratton beating Fallon Henley for the women's side of the match, while we have Dijak beating Tyler Bate in the men's side of the match. But we're gonna. And we also have it's beneficial that, like I said before, and I'll say it again, which is Andre Chase and Ducats and Team Chase U facing the family of Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Tony D'Angelo. But anyways, this is where we finally have Carmelo Hayes making his presence known in the ring in the Capitol Wrestling Center arena. Where Carmelo Hayes is like, "Hey everybody, gets cut to the chase," and he's like. This thing is bigger than the NXT championship. This is about my friend. This is about my brother Trick Williams. Come out here, man. Let's go talk about this right now. Which Trick Williams came out with everybody singing along his theme song, "Pull That Trick." And it was like, I got one championship after championship, Trick. Like, I share that glory alongside you, my best friend, Trick. Like, without Trick, there wouldn't be Mo Mello. Before you accuse me of it, and And this is where Trick Williams is like, exactly, Melo. Like, that's the thing right there. I'm trying to see how I can figure this out. Like, because over the last 2 years, like, I've been doing nothing but I've been nothing without putting Trick Melo game first. And he was like, and I was like, yeah, that's true. Like at first, like he'd been known as Carmelo Hayes' main man, hype man, and sidekick, but he showed that he was way more than Melo's sidekick. Like even beating Dominic Mysterio for his NXT North American Championship in the process. But anyway, this is where he has a short reign to live, and he was like, and for your NXT championship, I was so happy for, like, I won the championship myself, and I did. And I heard all the potential. I took all the beat down on the side. I did whatever it took to make sure when Melo shoots, he don't miss. And then this is where the fans like, yeah, that's right. And then Carmelo's like, but Trick, though, but it worked because I did it. I mean, you and I, like, we were like Shaq and Kobe out here, man. Like, he was like we were like Shaq and Kobe. We were also, what he said? What was that? Jordan and pimping, that's what he said. He's like, if I won, you won too, Trick. And he's like, exactly, that's the point. Like, when every time you won, they're like, it's easy to talk like that, but you get the bone and you taking all the shots. But what about me? Well, and now Trick has the ball, and now Trick's taking all the shots. Like, why you can't be in the exact same way as I was at, like when I was on your side? Fans are like, yeah, good points. I cheer for him with support. And this is where Trick Williams also said, like, this is the better question right here, Melo. Like, everybody's been wondering for the past couple of weeks. Like, everybody in the world wants to know. Like, and I'm saying, the question I need to know, and I'm going to say this once. Like, did you attack me, Carmelo? Like, Melo. Like, before he said that, this is where Carmelo Hayes like, did what, Trick? Like, what do you mean by that? Do I believe in you? Like, yes, I did. Before Trick Williams, before the hottest star in NXT, before the whoop that, before the whoop that, the whoop that Trick chance like and stuff. Like, I was there, Trick. And I look, man, like you need to understand that. Like I knew that, like you were greatness since the beginnings. Like everything you break out, like all of that. Like, but look, man, like see that I told you. Like I told you months ago. I knew you were destined for greatness. I knew that you had the whole potential of being a once in a lifetime performer. And then Carmelo Hayes was look, and he's like, so that answer your question, Trick? And he was like, And he started breathing in, and I was like, Melo, like I have this question right here. Like, I just want to do my own thing. And if I want to have my moment, like I want to have my main events of my own. Like you already had your main events, Melo. Like, dog, like how come, like, why you don't want to see me have my opportunities too, man? And this is where Carmelo was like, I am like Trick, and this is where Trick was like, but I've been thinking about this though, Melo. Like, whenever you needed me, I had your back, man. Like, whenever you needed me, I was actually there. Like, we need the best. I put my heart and soul to being interested, to being the best interest of all of WWE. And the Carmelo's like, I gotta hand it to you, and I cannot argue at that. And it's like, where you at? Like, where I get jumped, like where I get attacked, Melo. Like, I didn't even see what happened. Like, I know you wasn't there. Like until after the fact, like when there was plenty of referees gathering around me trying to get the paramedics to carry me to the ambulance. And that's when I finally heard your voice saying, like, and he was like Mel, like Trick, like buddy, like I'm here for you. Like, don't, like, like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, like, which it's very suspicious that he comes to the last minute and not at the scene of the crime, like when he got jumped by whoever attacked him. And this is what Carmelo Hayes like, do you like he was like you're saying that you never seen this person who attacked you? And then he was like, and this is where he asked, like, did you attack me? And he's like, we have to clear all this blind eyes. Like, he was like, you want the truth, right? And then this is where Trick Williams was like, yeah, I want the damn truth right here, right now. And before Carmelo Hayes can answer anything, this is where Alexis King came out and started talking trash on him. And he was like, you're really gonna, and it's like Carmelo Hayes, like, you're really gonna hide the fact that you're the one that attacked your own best friend and you were at the scene of the crime. And this is where Trick Williams like, real talk, dog, like, but this conversation do not concern you right now. And this is none of your business what me and my boy Mello here talking about. And then Alexis King's like, gentlemen, relax. Relax. I was like, wow, Alexis King, also known as Brian Pillman Jr., starting to look like a blonde hair mullet version of Baron Corbin. Like, what's up with this look? Like, is this some kind of an inspiration of Baron Corbin's look? Like, he might as well be his lackey by looking like this. Like, since they're both on NXT at this point. But anyway, this is where Alexis King also said, I need to get to the bottom of this. It seems to me everybody knows who did exactly. Don't they? Then again, it could be someone else. It could be someone new here, someone trying to make an impact here, someone dark, someone dirty they've never seen before, which is a reference to himself that best described himself, Alexis King. I was like, really? Like, did you really have to give yourself away like that? Even if you did attack Trick Williams, but Trick Williams did not like that, and he started mugging the hell out of Alexis King way more than he did to Carmelo Hayes. And then someone with him, and he said some of the minds so twisted right now, and the thoughts so unclean. So slowly looking towards Trick Williams, like, now ask yourself, Trick, are you sure? And are you positively sure that is? And this, he started putting his hand on his shoulder. This is where Trick Williams was like, get your damn hands off my shoulder. And this is where, or off of me, I should say. This is where, like, is that salty? He was like, I told you once, I told you again, now get out. Like, he was trying to give him a warning because, like, he's not making the situation any better. Like, even though he made a real big impact when he made his debut at the Night One's edition of Halloween Havoc 2 weeks ago, but he's not making it any better by the fact that who attacked Trick Williams back 3 weeks ago before the No More Contenders match. He's like, no, get out of here while grown folks are talking, like making a joke and considering that Alexis King is still underage, like still like if he's some kind of a rebellious teenager, of course. This is where Alexis King's like, I want you to say it, Trick Williams. I want to say what everyone in this building is thinking right now. And you've been sucking your thumb for weeks, and this is where they try to shut up Alexis King with a striking right hand. This is where he ducks right on time, and he accidentally hits a strike right onto Carmelo Hayes' face, like out of nowhere, like boom, knocking him out. And Alexis King finally running out of there because he's starting to stir the pot into a wrong way, even though he might have a point about the matter, but he did it the wrong way, the wrong. This is where Carmelo Hayes was grabbing onto his face because I bet that stung and really hurt so much. Like, it's probably going to hurt until the middle of next month, if not next year. And this is where Trick Williams like, oh, my God, I was not trying to hit my boy Mello here. Like, and this is where he picks him up. He's like, I didn't mean that, boy. Like, this is where he picks him up. This is where they hugged it out. And this is where they start playing the theme song. This is where Carmelo Hayes gave the look on the camera. That's how NXT ended. And I'll say this was a really decently interesting and entertaining NXT edition of NXT, which I would give it 4 stars even out of 5. And what do you think about how would y'all rate tonight's NXT for those who watched? And what do you think was next for this angle with Carmelo Hayes, between Hayes and Williams, or should I say Trick Mello game, of course. Y'all let me know right down in the comment section, right down below. And also, we have some good matches. I'll say I'm going to change a few things. I would say the Heritage Cup Championship trophy was the match of the night of the opener, and the last match of the night with Dijak against Tyler Bate in the Iron Survivor qualifier match for NXT Deadline. NXT Deadline was the second match of the night, while Tiffany Stratton with the Deadline Women's Iron Survivor qualifying match with Fallon Henley was well delivered as well. And that would deserve the 4-star rating, into my opinion, of reviewing NXT tonight. But y'all. But what you thought about NXT tonight for you viewers and SNA fans out there? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, on the 111 episode, aka 111 episode of the SNA podcast, and this was my NXT review. This was my review part 13. And if you like this video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell notification on the side so you can be notified my next upcoming videos whenever I'm making a wrestling news video or a wrestling review video or any other review or news video of any other topics, like what if it's football or baseball or animation or even about a movie, like, which I'm gonna be working on that, like, in just very, very shortly, like, which I'm gonna talk about. And also, I'm gonna be doing my next wrestling news video, which will be wrestling news part 34, I believe, part 34, and this will be episode 112 of the SNA podcast. And then later on in the evening, I'm gonna be doing the SNA podcast for the AEW Dynamite review, part 13 on that, which will be episode 113. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, on this episode, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great night and have a very well and good Wednesday morning and afternoon. And I'll see you all tomorrow, all day tomorrow, I should say. Well, at least in the afternoon and evening. But until then, folks, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out of the night. Good night, my SNA fans. Bye-bye.